Hello everyone and welcome to this video on the Python programming language and machine learning. So in this video we're going to do some Twitter sentiment analysis. Now currently I'm on Google's website called colab.research.google.com because it makes it really easy to get started programming in Python, and that means that you don't have to install it onto your computer. You can just go to this website and log in using your Google account and get started writing your Python code. So let's go ahead and get started writing our program. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is click on File and then click on New Python 3 Notebook, and a new tab will open up for you and a new cell. Now within this cell, I like to put a description of the program before I write any logic. So let's do that in comments now. So I'm just going to type description, and I'm going to put this is a sentiment analysis program that parses the tweets fetched from Twitter using Python. Okay, now let's go ahead and create a new cell by clicking that code button. And in this cell, I'm going to import the libraries that we're going to be using throughout this program. So I'm going to import TweePy, and from text blob, I'm going to import text blob. Next, from word cloud, I'm going to import word cloud. And next I'm going to import pandas as PD, and I'm going to import numpy as np, and I'm going to import regular expressions RE, and last but not least I'm going to import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT, and we're going to give our plot a style, so type plt.style.use, and we're going to use the 538 style. Next, I'm going to run this cell by clicking this button here to the left, and we're just checking to make sure that there are no errors with these libraries. And it doesn't seem to be the case, so let's go ahead and scroll this up and let's create a new cell. Now, the idea of this program is to take some tweets and then of course get the sentiment of those tweets. But before you do that, you're going to need a Twitter account, and you're going to need to have a Twitter application. I already have both. I will put a link in the description showing how to do that, and I have put the keys for my Twitter application into a file, and we need these keys to authenticate to Twitter. So I'm going to load that file and then extract those keys. So because I'm on Google's website, I need to use Google's library to load the data. And so that's exactly what we're going to do here. So here I'm going to type load the data. So from google.colab, I'm going to import files, and I'm going to create a variable called uploaded, and I'm going to set this equal to files.upload. Okay, and let's run this cell. Okay, let's run it one more time. Okay, let's click choose files, and the file that has my 4 keys is called login.csv, so I'm going to open it, and I'm going to create a new cell, and in this cell I'm going to get the data. So I'm going to create a variable called consumer key and set it equal to the wait, before I do that, let me see, get the data, there we go. So before I do all of that, I'm getting ahead of myself. I need to store the CSV file to some variable. So I'm going to create a variable called log and set it equal to pd.read_CSV, and I'm going to read that login.csv file that I've uploaded. So let's run this. Okay, now that I'm not getting ahead of myself, I'm going to get the Twitter API credentials. Okay, so now I'm going to create that variable called consumer key, and I'm going to set it equal to log at the column called key and position 0. Next, I'm going to get the consumer secret, and it's going to basically be the same thing except for at position 1. So I'm going to copy this using Control C and paste it using Control V, and then go to position 1 where I have the key stored, and I'm going to create a variable called access token and set it equal to the same thing but at position 2. And I'm going to create a variable called access token secret and set it equal to the same thing but at position 3. So now let's run this cell. Okay, and let's create a new cell. Now we need to authenticate and create a authentication object. So let's create the authentication object. So I'm going to create a variable called authenticate, and I'm going to set it equal to tweepy.oauth handler. And this is going to take in the consumer key that we stored our key in and the consumer secret that we stored the consumer secret key in. All right, next I'm going to set the access token and the access token secret. So in order to do that, just type authenticate dot set underscore access underscore token, and then I'm going to input the parameter called, I'm going to put access token in the first parameter, and I'm going to put access token secret in the second parameter. Okay, and then last but not least, I'm going to create the API object while passing in the auth information. So I'm going to create a variable called API and set it equal to tweepy.api, and we're going to input authenticate. Okay, and the wait underscore on underscore rate underscore limit is going to be true. All right, now let's run this cell. Okay, and let's create a new cell. I'm going to scroll on up. All right, now what I want to do is I want to extract 100 tweets from a Twitter user. So I'm going to be using the Twitter user called Bill Gates. So yes, this is Microsoft's co-founder Bill Gates' Twitter account that we're going to use. And I'm choosing this Twitter account because Bill Gates is trying to make a positive impact in the world, and he founded an organization in the year 2000 called the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And I guess I should also mention Melinda Gates founded it as well. But basically, this organization is guided by the belief that every life has equal value. So they are a very innovative organization, and they work to help all people lead healthy and productive lives. So I am thinking that Bill Gates' Twitter account will be very positive. Okay, so in this cell, let's extract 100 tweets from the Twitter user. And you know what? I will put the link to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in the description below as well, so you guys can check it out. All right, so anyways, let's create a variable called post and set it equal to api.user underscore timeline. And we're going to get the user screen name, which is Bill Gates. Okay, and the count is going to be equal to 100 because we want 100 tweets from this account, and the language will be English, and the tweet mode will be equal to extended, and that's so I can get the full text. All right, that looks good. Now let's print the last 5 tweets from this account or from the account. Okay, so I'm going to put a print statement here, and I'm going to print show the 5 recent tweets in a new line, and let's show those tweets. So for tweet in posts from 0 to 5, well, not including 5 actually, we want to print the tweet dot full underscore text, and probably going to want to put a new line for each one of them. And let's run this. Okay, so this looks pretty good. We can see that there was a tweet at Roger Federer. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not going to try. But anyways, Rogers Foundation partners with local NGOs in 6 countries in Southern Africa to improve early learning and basic education. It's an impressive organization, and I encourage you to consider supporting its work. So that's one of the tweets, the last tweet. And I actually want to make this look a little bit better. So I'm going to create a variable called I and set it equal to 1. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make I a string, and I'm going to append a right parentheses. And does that look good there? Okay, I think that looks good. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, sorry. We need to put a space here and then append tweet full text. So now let's give this a try. And now I see that I put the 1 multiple times here, so we need to make sure that I is incrementing. So we're going to set I equal to I plus 1, and now let's run it. Okay, so now we can see the 5 recent tweets. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new cell, and in this cell, I'm going to create a data frame with a column called tweet or tweets. Okay, so I'm going to create a variable called df, which will be short for data frame, and it's going to be equal to pd dot data frame, and we're going to get the full text of the tweet. So tweet dot full underscore text for tweet in posts, and the column name will be tweets. Okay, next let's show the first 5 rows of data. So just type df.head, left parentheses, right parentheses, and run the cell. And now we've stored these tweets into this new data frame. So let's go ahead and create a new cell here. And in this cell, we need to kind of clean the text, because if you look here, we can see the at mentions here, the at mentions here, the at mentions here. We can see some URLs. So let's see what else we got. I'm sure we'll have some hashtags. So let's go ahead and clean the data. So clean the text. And in order to do this, I'm going to create a function to do it for me. So we're going to create a function to clean the tweets. And I will call this function clean text. And it's going to take in some text. And we are going to set text equal to the removal of these words and symbols. So just type re dot sub. So we're going to substitute out whatever pattern we find for an empty string. So for example, the at mentions, I want to remove it. So I want to find this pattern using regular expressions. So it's going to be at followed by, any character. So we have to check for uppercase and lowercase. So let's do that now. So A to Z, capital A to capital Z. And we're also going to check for lowercase a to lowercase z and any number from 0 to 9. Okay. And then we'll put a plus here for one or more. So I'm going to put an R in front here. And what this R does is um, it tells Python that the expression is a raw string. Okay. So this is the pattern that we want to find. And once we find that pattern, I want to substitute it out for the empty string. So just want to get rid of it, just want to remove it. And then of course we have to put in the text that we want to find the pattern of. Okay. Okay, so this right here again simply removes at mentions. All right, next I'm going to set text equal to re.sub, and I'm going to use that R again, and we're going to get rid of any hashtags or number sign in the text and replace it, of course, with the empty string, and we need to give it the text that we want to remove the hashtag from. So here we're just removing the hashtag symbol. Okay, next let's set text equal to re.sub, and we are going to remove RT from the text. So RT is retweets, I believe, in Twitter. So let's remove those, and we're going to remove these tweets followed by one or more white spaces. So I could just put \s and then plus sign. That should do it. And then empty string, and of course we input text. Okay, so again, this is removing RT. And next, let's set text equal to re.sub, and I want to get rid of that URL or that hyperlink. So that means that the hyperlink will have HTTP, and it may or may not have S. So I'm going to put a question mark here for having 0 or 1 S character. Okay, then it's going to have a colon, and it's going to have the slashes, right? So I'm going to get the slashes here. 1, 2 slashes. Yeah, I think, yeah, the slashes are, yep, okay. So 1, 2. And we're going to check to see if it's followed by one or more non-white spaces. So I'm going to put here \S and then plus. All right, so I think that'll do it. And I'm pretty sure that's \. Okay, anyways, let's make sure that we replace it with the empty string and input text. Okay, so this right here will remove the hyperlink. Okay, and when we're done, we can just return the text. So that function looks good. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. So now we can actually apply this function. So just type df tweets. Tweets need to be a string. Tweets is going to equal df tweets dot apply clean text. So we're applying that function to our tweets. And next, let's show the cleaned text. So here we're technically cleaning the text. Okay, so I'm just going to type df and let's run this cell. Okay, and now we can see that some of these at mentions, well, actually all of these at mentions are gone. So we don't see that in our tweets here, and we don't see the link. So where we have game on, the link is gone now. So that's good. Looks like we've cleaned up the text. Probably could do a little bit more to the text to clean it, but for now I think that's good enough. Let's go ahead and create a new cell. And I'm going to bring this up. Now in this cell, I'm going to create a function to get something called the subjectivity and the polarity. And I'm going to create 2 more columns to store all of the subjectivities and all of the polarities. So let's do that now. I'm going to create a function to get the subjectivity. And the subjectivity tells how subjective or opinionated the text is. All right, so that's what we're doing here. So I'm going to call this function get subjectivity, and it's going to take in some text, and it's going to return text blob, where we have to input text dot sentiment dot subjectivity. All right, and I also want to create a function to get the polarity. So the polarity tells how positive or negative the text is. So I'm going to call this function get polarity, and it's going to take in some text. Okay, and I'm going to return text blob, and we have to input the text dot sentiment dot polarity. All right, now let's create those columns. So we're going to create 2 new columns, and one will be called subjectivity and the other will be called polarity. So just type df and then subjectivity, and I'm going to set this equal to df tweets dot apply. So we're going to apply that get subjectivity function, and I'm basically going to do the same thing for the polarity. So just type df and then polarity and set this equal to df tweets, and we're going to apply the get polarity function that we created. Okay, so that looks good. Now I want to show the new data frame with the new columns. So just type df and let's run this cell. Okay, so now our data frame looks pretty good. So for each tweet here, we can now see the subjectivity and the polarity of that tweet. All right, so I'm going to create a new cell, and now I want to see how well the sentiments are distributed. And a good way to accomplish this task is by understanding the common words by plotting something called a word cloud. And a word cloud is also known as tag clouds or text clouds. And it's basically a visualization where the more specific word appears in the text, the bigger and bolder it appears in the word cloud. So let's visualize all the words in the data using the word cloud plot. So here I will just put word cloud or plot word cloud. Okay, so I'm going to create a variable called all words and set it equal to the string with a space. So there's a space there for that string. And we're going to join, tweets for tweets in our tweets column. Okay. All right, now I'm going to create a variable called word cloud. And I'm going to set it equal to word cloud. All right, need to give it a width. So the width will be 500. We're going to give it a height. So I'm going to set the height equal to 300. And let's give it a random state. So random state is going to be equal to 21. And a max font size equal to 110. All right, that looks good. So let's generate this. So just type dot generate, and we're going to generate all words. All right. So let's show this. Just type plt dot im show, and we're going to show the word cloud, and the interpolation is going to be bilinear. All right, I think that looks good. Let's remove the axis. So just type plt dot axis off, and then let's show this. Okay, I think that'll do it. All right, let's run this. I got some errors. So name word cloud is not defined. Ah, I see why. The word cloud variable is not really a word cloud object, but now it should be. It needs to be a capital W here. Okay, so now we have our word cloud, and we can see world is pretty big, right? So that means that the word world appeared a lot in the text. New is another word that appeared a lot. Work, health, year, progress, disease, foundation. So this is pretty interesting. A lot of these seem like, well, health, work, new, world. I think they're all good words. I'm not sure about disease. I guess it depends on how you're using it. But anyways, this is the word cloud. So let's go ahead and create a new cell. And in this cell, I want to create a function to compute the negative, neutral, and positive analysis. All right, so I'm going to create this function. Let's call it get analysis. And it's going to take in some score. So if the score is less than 0, then it's negative. So we're going to return this string negative. Else if the score is equal to 0, else if the score is equal to 0, we're going to return the neutral string. And else, if it's neither negative nor neutral, then it's positive. So we're going to return the positive string. So that looks good. And I'm going to create a new column called analysis. And I'm going to set this equal to df polarity, right? Because polarity is the score, and we're going to apply the function that I just created called get analysis. Okay. Then I will show the data frame. So just type df and let's run this. Okay. So now we can easily see if the tweet is positive or if the tweet is negative. So here we have our tweet here, and the analysis is that the tweet is positive. So we have positive, 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 positive. We have a negative here. Looks like we have a neutral here. All right, out of the 100 or 100 tweets that we have extracted. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new cell. And in this cell, I want to print all of the positive tweets. So I'm going to create a variable called j and set it equal to 1. And I'm going to create a variable called sorted df, which will be short for sorted data frame. And I'm going to set this equal to df dot sort underscore values. And we're going to sort these values by the polarity. Okay. Now for I in range 0 to sorted df, yes, sorted df dot shape at position 0, or in other words, the number of rows in our data frame. I want to print sorted df. I want to print the tweet, right? So sorted df tweets at position I. All right. So I don't think I even really need J. Oh, well, I know what I'll use J for. I will use J here. So I can use J to be a number as a string that we can append to make it look decent. Put a space there. All right. So I think that looks good. So now we get the tweets and I've sorted the values. So we're going to get the most positive tweet and then we get all the rest of them that follow. So it'll be the most positive, then the second most positive, then the third most positive. And let's see, let's go ahead and just print for a new line. And let's set j equal to j plus 1 because we need it to increment. And let's run this. Well, we're not done yet, are we? But I'm going to run it. And then we are going to, let me go ahead and put the if statement in here now. So I need an if statement to check to see if the tweet is negative, positive, or neutral, right? So if sorted df analysis at position I is positive, then I need my parentheses. All right, then we will do everything here. So let me just bring that back. All right, now everything looks good. So I'm sorry for the confusion, basically what I did here was I created a variable called sorted df, which sorts the values in our data frame by the polarity. Next, I'm looping through the number of rows in the sorted data frame. And then if the analysis at the position I is positive, then we're going to print that tweet. Okay, and after that, we're going to print a new line. All right, so let's go ahead and run this. Uh-oh, okay. So here we have Rogers Foundation partners with local NGOs in 6 countries in Southern Africa to improve early learning and basic education. So that seems to be the most positive tweet in the tweets positive tweets list. So it's pretty interesting, and we can easily see that there are 81 of these positive tweets. So 81 out of 100 of the tweets are positive. So already we can see that the author, whom of which is Bill Gates, has a positive sentiment so far with these tweets, at least the past 100, right? 81% of them are positive. All right, so let's go ahead and create a new cell. And we could just copy and paste and change a few things, but I will go ahead and do this again. So print, let's print the negative tweets. So let's see, let's look back up here. All right, let's go back down. So let's create a variable called j and set it equal to 1. And let's create that sorted df variable again. Really, we could, let's see if we could use it. We can't use it again because now I'm going to sort the tweets in descending order. All right, so let's create the variable called sorted df, and let's set it equal to df dot sort underscore values, and we're going to sort the values by polarity, but this time ascending is going to be equal to false. Okay, and I didn't put ascending in the last one because it defaults to true. All right, so for I in range 0 to the number of rows in sorted df, which is dot shape at position 0, I'm going to print sorted df tweets at position I, but I only want to do this if the sorted df analysis at position I is negative. Okay. All right, and I'm going to make it look good. So we're going to make j a string, and we're going to append that character, the right parentheses, and then we'll append sorted df, and that looks good. And then we'll print a new line, and then we'll set j equal to j plus 1. All right, now let's go ahead and run this. All right, so I messed up somewhere. Let's see, name sorted. I misspelled sorted here. So let's go ahead and run this. All right, so now it seems that the most negative post is game on. I'm not really sure why, but that seems to be the most negative post. Now let's take another look here. It's encouraging to see these results. That seems kind of positive. Let's see. I was deeply moved. Okay. I'm excited to see world leaders and climate advocates coming together to make progress. Let's see, at the UNGA Climate Action Summit, working together, we can prevent the worst effects of climate change. So maybe the program saw worst and said, okay, that's a bad word. Maybe here it saw terrible and said, okay, that's a bad word. This must be a bad sentiment or a negative sentiment. Let's see. Here we have, okay, mortality. Okay, so I can kind of see how it decided that these are negative. Here we have injustice. So injustice is a pretty negative word, and I'm still not sure about this game one. But anyways, we have 9 negative tweets from the Twitter user. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new cell, and I want to plot the polarity and subjectivity. So in order to do this, just type plt.figure, and we give our figure a size. So fig size is going to be equal to 8, 6. Now for I in range 0 to the shape of our data frame, which again is the number of rows, we're going to plot the data as a scatter chart or a plot. And so we need to give it the x-axis. So that's going to be df polarity at position I. And we need to give it the um, y coordinates. I might have said x label, but anyways, x-axis. This one here is the x-axis. If I did not say x-axis, this here is the y-axis. So the y-axis will be df subjectivity at position I, and then we'll give our data some color. So I will make it blue, and then we'll give our plot a title. So type plt.title, and the title will be sentiment analysis. Okay, next we'll give our plot an x label. So the x-axis will be called polarity, and we'll give our plot on the y-axis a label. So plt.y label will be called subjectivity, and then we'll show the plot. So type plt.show, and let's run this. Okay, so now we can visually see the polarity of Bill Gates' tweets. So this middle line here would be neutral, and we can see the majority of the posts lie on the right side of this this line here, and then there's only a few on the left, and there should only be what 9 on the left. So let's go ahead and count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and create a new cell. And in this cell, I'm going to get the percentage of positive tweets, which we already know is 81, right? Was it 81? Let me check. Let's scroll on down. Yeah, it was 81. But I'll show you all another way. I really like showing different ways to do things. So we'll, get all of the positive tweets. So I'm going to create a variable called p_tweets. I'm going to set this equal to our data frame, and we're going to get all of the data where analysis is positive. So yeah, I could have did this instead of the for loop, and just print out um, p_tweets, but I did not. So just showing you guys another way. Anyways, let's set p_tweets equal to p_tweets. We'll only get the tweets from the data set. So that allows you to see all the tweets. So if we were to print p_tweets now, let's go ahead and run this. We can see that we get back all of the positive tweets. And don't be confused by these numbers here, because you can see that, well, before when I printed out the positive tweets, I created these numbers, right? So it's the same, these are the same posts from the first time that we printed out the positive tweets. Okay. Now, in order for me to get the percentage, I just need to get the number of rows in the data set. So that should be p_tweets.shape at position 0, or of course I could just use length, and we'll need to divide it by the total number of data in our data frame. So that's df.shape at position 0. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to round this. So let's use the function round. And I'm going to cut this using Control X and Control V to paste it. And we're going to round it to 1 decimal place. And while I'm at it, let's go ahead and just multiply this by 100. All right, so let's go ahead and run this. Unexpected ended. Okay, so let's put that back. Let's run this again. All right, now we see that we get back 81%, which we expected. All right, so let's go ahead and create a new cell, and I'm going to do the same thing, but for negative tweets. So I'm going to get the percentage of negative tweets. So I'll create a variable called n tweets and set it equal to df, where df dot analysis is negative. And then I will get all of the negative tweets by setting n tweets equal to n tweets column. And then I will round n tweets dot shape at position 0 divided by df dot shape at position 0. I'll multiply this times 100, and we'll round to 1 decimal. And let's run this. And it gives us 9%, which of course we already knew. So yeah, this is just showing you all another way to print out the positive and negative tweets. You can use it if you want to. If not, it doesn't really matter. Or you can do a count in the for loop if you want to get the number and the percentage of positive and negative tweets. So that means that 10 of the tweets are neutral, and I'm not even going to worry about printing the neutral tweets here or showing the percentage. So let's go ahead and create a new cell. I think this video is long enough, and I want to show the value counts. So just type df and then analysis dot value underscore counts, and let's plot and visualize the counts. Plot and visualize the counts. So I'm going to give the plot a title, and I'm going to type sentiment analysis, and then we will give the x-axis a label, so plt.x label, and it will be sentiment, and then plt.y label, which will be the y-axis label, will be counts, and let's plot this. Let's plot this as a bar plot or bar chart. So just type df analysis dot value underscore counts dot plot, and then the kind of plot, which will be bar, and then we'll show it. So just type plt dot show, and let's run this. And of course we could have did this. Let's see here. This should just be 1L. All right, so this is the plot here, and of course we could have plotted this many different ways, right? We could have created a bar plot looping through the values, but anyways, it doesn't matter. We got it like this, and this is what we get. So for the positive count, we can see the bar chart has 81 here, neutral has, I guess, 10 here, right, as it should have 10, and then negative is 9, so it's just a little bit lower than neutral. And so now we can see that indeed Bill Gates' past 100 tweets seem to be mostly positive and not really that negative. So that's pretty interesting. Anyways, I hope the video wasn't too confusing, and I know it was really long, but thank you guys for sticking with me here. I hope you learned a lot about sentiment analysis with Twitter, and please leave any questions you have in the comment section. If I don't get to them, maybe other people will. And please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. And if you think the video was helpful, please share it. And as always, I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.